This is Jolie here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Dave Coldwell here at the press conference. Jordan Gill's back in action this weekend. First things first though, Dave, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks, yeah. Big fight week. It's not just a fight week, it's a big fight week. So it's a little bit exciting, a little bit mad, a little bit hectic. But yeah, looking forward to it.
It's a massive fight in Jordan's career, obviously coming off the back of a fantastic win. We've talked a lot about that, enough now. But Saturday night is so important for him.
It's everything. It's everything. At this stage of a fighter's career, with the setbacks that Jordan's had, every fight's massive. Every fight. You know, if you were defending your title against somebody that nobody's heard of, it's a massive fight. But this is huge because it's Kiko Martinez. Everyone knows what Kiko Martinez brings, his reputation. 2 fights ago, he was world champion, knocking out Kid Galahad, who was the man of the division, really. And even in the fight, he gets beaten against Josh Warrington. It's a hell of a fight and breaks Josh's jaw. That tells you what Kiko Martinez is capable of. So Jordan's prepared fantastically, as he always does. He's an unbelievable professional. That's what I'm really proud of him, because throughout all the setbacks, they're not knowing if he's going to fight again. When he had the thyroid issue, we didn't even know if he was going to ever fight again. To get through all that and to still persist and everything, he's a great advert for the sport. And this is his moment on Saturday night. You know, it's a huge fight. It's a world title eliminator, and it's a chance for him to make his name legitimately become in a conversation for world title challenges.
What do you make of Kiko Martinez, and how do you think the styles clash, Martinez?
Kiko's not going to change. It comes to knock you out, and whether he has to take 100 punches, 200 punches to get there, he'll keep on knocking you out, and he'll keep on looking for that opportunity. Jordan's got to be switched on. He's got skills to burn, but he's heavy-handed than what people think. And I'm not just talking about that one right hand that he showed in the last fight, but he's mentally got to stay switched on. Just follow the game plan. Not allow Kiko to do what Kiko wants to do, even when Kiko because there's going to be moments where Kiko's on top of you, and you've got to know how to cope with those moments and nullify those moments, and to make it work against Kiko himself.
Yeah, I want to talk about Jordan Gill getting to a world title then, because obviously you can't skip over Kiko. He's one of those people who always say is going to be towards the end of his career, and then he knocks someone out again.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's a guy that never goes away. You know, he's one of those. And you look at the shape he's in. He's always in fantastic shape. He's always in fantastic shape. And he's one of those guys that you know, he lives the life. He's fit, he's strong, he's dedicated, he lives for it. He's a credit to the sport, you know, and his longevity tells you so. And if you look through his record, you look at the guys that he's boxed, he's so experienced. It's not just a case of he's had a load of fights. He's fought a load of top level fighters. So that experience adds to you. And that's something that, again, you know, we respect and we look at, but it's not something that we can afford to buy into and put him on this pedestal right up there and make yourself feel as though, you're in it deep, no. Jordan's got to go in there believing that he's the man, you know. And yes, Kiko's fought all these fighters, overcome all these challenges, but he's never fought Jordan Gill before, and that's what Jordan's got to have that.
In other news, you've started your own podcast. Why did you decide to do that, Dave?
Me, Josh Windass and Sam Jones are always on his WhatsApp, whether it's football, whether it's boxing. Josh comes out with some you know, way out there statements, and then I suppose we do as well with our football, you know, in comparison to him. So we just decided to get the podcast going. You know, a bit of football, a bit of boxing. That's why it's called Ball and Brawl. And it works because we're just 3 mates just having a chat, and it's doing really well. You know, we got a couple of thousand subscribers straight away. We've only had 2 episodes, a couple of thousand subscribers straight away, good views, so it's going well. But we're just going to stay consistent with it, have fun with it. Like I say, it's literally our WhatsApp coming to life, really.
Good to hear. Obviously, talking about the breaking news and stuff on the podcast, obviously I want to bring some important news in the world of boxing. Obviously, yesterday Conor Benn relinquished his British boxing licence. Just straight off the bat, what did you think of that?
It's difficult to, because I don't know the ins and outs behind it. You know, has there been a hearing? Hadn't there been a hearing? I don't know what his thought process. Obviously, he's been advised. So he's being advised by lawyers, people far, more clued up on this situation than what I am. So it's hard for me to say, oh, well, why is, because at first you think, oh, hang on a minute. Then you think, oh, right, okay, is he going to then, that mean just go and get a license in America, go over there or whatever? I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is behind it. Is it relinquishing him before it gets banned or what? I don't know, because we're not being told anything yet, because there's still a process, and because there's still a process, everybody's just playing guessing games. So it's difficult. All I know is that the whole situation is not good for the sport. The whole situation, how it's been. So I know, and I understand lawyers tell you, you can't say this, you can't say that. They'll be saying to Eddie, you can't say this, you can't say it. So that's why his interviews are tame, skirting around it, because he's being advised by lawyers. You're not going to go against your legal advice, because it's legal when you're doing hearings, cases, court cases, whatever. There's certain things you can't talk about. So I understand that, and same thing, people saying, oh, we need to hear from Conor and everything, but he'll have been advised that he can't say things, and so the little things that he's coming out with, okay, that'll have been checked before he said. But it's just the whole process needs adapting, from down to having UCAD, VADA, if their ban list is different to the other man's ban list, other organisations' ban list. Why is... You need to look at things and have it more unified. Even though they're independent and they're different companies, they should still be testing for, a universal sort of thing, like, expand that list or and if one tests for another, and just because it's on their testing itinerary and the other one's not, well, recognise it. The board not recognising VADA just because they recognise UCAD, I think that's bollocks. If something comes up on and it's not like VADA's just Jim from down the streets decided to set up a testing agency and just rocked along and took a sample and said, oh, I found something. It's like a legitimate testing agency. So I don't understand what the problem is not recognising it and then not putting procedures in. Right, okay, you failed or you've had an adverse finding in a drug test, we can't go ahead with the fight. That's it. The board, I know there's legal issues and things like that, and there's procedures and there's a lot of money being put into it, but surely the board have that where, and you've got to look at Matchroom. Matchroom's a business, and they're the promoters, they're a business, so they're putting all this money, so they want to try, if there's some way this show can go ahead, then we want it to go ahead, because we don't want to lose millions or hundreds and hundreds of thousands of what we're spending into it. I understand that. I'm not saying it's right, but I understand that. But the board, as a governing body, surely, if a fighter's failed a drugs test, should turn around and say straight away, not leave it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever. Straight away say, well, or advise Matchroom, say, right, you need to cancel the show because we're not going to allow it to go ahead. And then Matchroom then kind of like, okay, well, we've got to do it, because I know Matchroom should turn. In my opinion, they should have turned around straight away and said, okay, something's come up. We have to postpone until we investigate this further. We have to postpone the event. They should do that, but they've spent shitloads of money, and there's probably pressure from DAZN and things like that. So there's a lot of moving parts. It's not just about one man, one person. But if the organisation that rules the sport in a country turn around and say, you need to cancel this because we are not going to... Why have they waited? Why has it been left? If they know 23rd of September, let's say, and why is it waited until so long, so close to the event, where people are rocking up for public workouts and shit like that, before the board have turned around and said, we are not letting this go ahead. So just the whole thing, I think they need to learn from it. Everyone needs to learn from it. But I think the whole drugs issue needs to be more uniform, more organised, because there are fuckers that are cheating and getting away with it, because there's loopholes, because oh, well, it's banned in this country, but it's not banned in that country. It's so difficult. Also, what people have to understand as well, what's banned for a sport isn't banned for another sport. So it is quite complicated, and I don't have the answers. I don't understand enough about it. But when you understanding that there are things like that are issues that makes it a little bit more difficult for it to work, then you think, well, fucking hell, somebody needs to get a hold of it and say we need to get this more uniform, because you're playing with fighters' lives, fighters' futures, fighters' reputations, and this where we're talking about there is actually a possibility that it can be contaminated. Why? Because if you're a testing agency, sort your shit out. Why you should be, that is your job. Why is it not done in an environment or not done where you can make sure it's not contaminated? And again, I might be just living in Disney thinking that things like that can get sorted, but it's like in every job, you know, you've come here with a camera and a mic. If your battery's not charged, I'm like, mate, why ain't your battery charged? That's your job. You should be doing it. Do you know what I mean? You should make sure that happens. I hope you've never done that.
It's on one bar, I'm joking.
but what I'm saying is, if you're a testing agency and your job is to test and to make sure that samples taken to labs and keep it safe, make sure there's no chance of contamination. Because if it has been contaminated, I'm not saying for Conor, but I'm saying for anybody, if the case comes where it has been contaminated by the testing agency or something, that's fucking ruined somebody's reputation. But also we need to take that out, so then if it is a sample does come up where it's tested, then where they failed, well then you're a cheating fucker, and you know what I mean, that's it. But it's so complicated, and this is the problem, because it's so complicated. I feel like we're just like a treading water. We're not getting anywhere with it.
Okay. Very, very interesting, insightful. Appreciate your honesty there, Dave. We'll catch up again soon. Looking forward to Jordan's fight.
Facts all right. Huh? I got your battery facts all right.
It's all good. But yeah, thanks for your time, Dave. Good to speak to you.